Hey y'all. You were probably brought here by the title of the video, which I wouldn't be surprised. That's how a lot of YouTubers like to attract viewers besides the thumbnails, is scary sounding or looking titles. But as you all probably can tell, I suck at thumbnails, so I use the titles instead. But for those of you with paranoia out there, this is not clickbait. I will be discussing what is in the title in this video, so you don't have to worry about no clickbait or nothing like that. I am not that kind of person to... My darn shirt's wet. I was doing dishes. Don't mind me. Crap, what was I saying? I can't remember anything. Yeah. Whatever. Let's just get into this, I guess. So, for those of you who don't know, if you haven't read the description on my YouTube channel, or, like, seen in, like, any little hints I might have given out, then, you will be new to this news, but, for those of you who do know, my dad passed away back in 2022. Back when, people were still blaming COVID for, sicknesses, like, symptoms of sicknesses, like, back when you could literally cough and then people would be like, you have COVID. My dad got sick, and, like, we thought nothing of it. It was, like, typical, usual symptoms. Like, at first it was kind of like, oh, you'll be fine, maybe you just have, like, the flu or something, or maybe just a common cold. But they progressed and got worse, and, over the course of 2 years, no, maybe I'm thinking of that wrong. Jesus Christ. Okay, one sec, I gotta think on how long it was. Okay, yeah, it was definitely around a year that he got sick. It started off like normal, basic, non-worry-worthy symptoms, like, oh, you're just a little bit sick, it'll brush off after a few weeks, or whatever, but, it got worse, and worse, and worse, and he didn't want to go to the hospital. He was like, I'll be fine, I don't need to go to the hospital, I think that I can just tough it out. But his symptoms went from being, like, super chill and normal, like, nothing to worry about, to, like, progressively worse. Like, he would just have his basic coughs and whatever, like, whatever he could think of, like, that would be symptoms of, like, a flu or cold. And then pretty soon he, like, lost his taste and sense of smell. And I mean, like, if you want to, like, consider that nothing to really worry about, then I guess you can do that. But, like, it started to go downhill pretty fast, and pretty soon he was going to the hospital here in, a city that's, like, kind of far from where I live. He was going down to that hospital down there, and, getting checkups, like, regularly, and they were like, you have cancer. Basically, like, the doctors, like, found out something wasn't right, and they're like, we gotta check you out, buddy. So they like, had to run some tests and whatever, and then they found out that he had a type of cancer. I still don't know what he had. Like, I asked my mom, but she didn't really know, I guess. She didn't really tell me, I guess. She, like, told me that she didn't know. Like, I don't know. I still don't know what kind of cancer he had. Maybe I can ask my sister. But, yeah, it was like that for a while. I was still 12 years old. It went on for quite a few months, like a long time, and um, I send I send love to my mom for having to do what she did during that process because it was not easy for her, and I could tell. Basically, they said you're gonna have to bring him into the hospital every day to get like radiation, whatever, done because he has cancer and it's spreading fast, and he like didn't get to the hospital fast enough, so she had to drive him to the hospital every day while he was sometimes he would be in his right mind, sometimes he would be loopy, like it was kind of like mood swings, except rather than him being happy 1 second and then the next mad or sad, it was one moment he was fine, perfectly with it, you could have a basic conversation with him, and the next he probably didn't even know his own name. It was that bad. Sometimes he would get that bad. And my mom had to drive him all the way down to the hospital, really upset, like worried about his condition, and I feel bad for her for that because no woman wants to have to do that with the love of her life. You know what I mean? So they had to like keep track of a lot of things. Like he had a lot of medicine he had to take. They had to like keep track of his blood sugar, his weight. He had to like drink protein shakes so he would gain weight because he was like losing weight. He was literally losing weight because of this cancer that he had. And they had to like keep track of all that stuff. Like they were basically micromanaging him, but like they had to. They basically had to micromanage him for that amount of time, and it was pretty scary, I guess I could say. Pretty shocking, but pretty scary how much I realized they had to like keep track of, because like I would like I would listen to my mom sometimes and she would talk about like his progress and whatever. She'd be like, so his blah blah blah's doing good, but his blah 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 could use improvement or whatever, and he's been doing pretty good, blah blah blah. And I'd be like, what even are those things? And she would have to like explain to me what some stuff was because I didn't understand. Like that's how bad it was. But yeah, that's basically how it was in a nutshell. Like micromanaging him, trying to make sure he does what he has to do, takes all his medicine, drinks all his protein shakes, make sure that he gains weight so then he can be discharged and this cancer can just be gone. But it did not go as planned. Like I said a few times now, they didn't get him to the hospital in time, but he refused to go to the hospital. He didn't want to go, and by the time he finally agreed to go, it had already spread enough that it was kind of concerning, and they didn't know whether he was going to make it or not, but as time progressed, the answer started to become kind of clear as he regressed. And time went on. He slowly got worse, even though my family put everything into getting him better. Like, I don't know how many family members, like, put in the money, work, and dedication to, like, get him the hospitalizations and treatment that he needed, but it was a lot. And the journey was long. It felt like it took forever. And I remember sometimes my mom would pick me and my brother up from school and be like, your dad's doing better, he gained 7 pounds. And I'd be like, little 12-year-old 7th grader me, I'd be like, yay, that's good, daddy's getting better, he's gonna make it through. Like, little innocent me had to be positive about it because, like, I didn't know that, like, the doctors were slowly losing hope and that it just wasn't looking good. And I mean, I'm definitely missing little bits of the story that my sister would probably know about, but like, that's from my perspective of it. Like, I didn't get to see much, but I do remember being in the house with my dad, and like, some days he would be like totally chill, totally fine, and then other days he would be like super fucked up, and I'd be like, Dad, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And like, some days I'll be confused, but then some days I'll realize, Oh, yeah, he's probably really loopy. He's probably just not with it right now. Like, I guess I can understand, he's sick. But, yeah. Basically, months go by. Big, nice, long journey for my dad to have to slowly get worse without me really realizing it. And then a month, or no, I shouldn't say it like that. Basically, on my birthday, like, my birthday's in May. I'm a Taurus. I'm a spring baby. Is my 13th birthday. Neither of my parents could come to my birthday because my dad was in the hospital, my mom didn't want to leave his side, and so I ended up spending my 13th birthday with my sister, my grandparents, my brother, and I can't remember if the dog was there. He might have been. I don't know. My sister and brother-in-law's dog, who passed away I don't know how long ago. Rest in peace to him. I don't remember if he was at the party or not, but they were all there. Like, I mean, I had a pretty good time. They made me an angel food cake, which is like freaking delicious, but like it was a parentless birthday. My parents did not get to watch me turn 13, and they had to watch a video of the party that got sent to them. I remember the phone call. I remember when my brother, I think, was talking on the phone with my mom on the house phone, and he gave it to me, and he was like, Mom wants to talk to you. Or no, he's like, Mommy wants to talk to you. And I was like, okay. And I took the phone, and she was like, hi, so I'm not going to be able to show up to your birthday party because Daddy's in the hospital right now, and I don't want to leave his side, so I'm sorry, but I can't make it. And I was like, okay. And I was like keeping it cool, whatever. Like, I didn't seem shocked or anything. I didn't like give off those vibes. I kept it cool, but like once I gave the phone back, I had some tears to hold in there. A few managed to slip out, but I stood firm, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. Who needs a parent at your birthday party? I certainly don't. Even though I was truly devastated that neither of my parents would get to be at my 13th birthday party. But, yeah. After a month after my birthday party, June, it was maybe a few weeks later. Well, what day's Father's Day on? I can't frickin' remember. I believe it would be a few weeks after my birthday. It was like maybe, I would say at least 3, 4. It's definitely around that. But crap, I was like, oh, I'm so stupid, bruh. Father's Day was approaching, and I believe, yeah, I think the day before it. The night before he died, my brother and I went to my sister and brother-in-law's old house where they used to live, their small house where they used to live. The house that I'm in right now, this is their second house that they bought here in the town that I live in. They used to live in a smaller house, and at the time they lived at that smaller house. Me and my brother went to their house to go spend the night, and my sister woke me up at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning and hugged me and told me that he died 2 hours ago in his sleep. And I was like, okay. That's how I found out that my dad died. But yeah, like, we just spent time in the house, like, trying to process the information, and my sister was like having me hang on, me and my brother get ready. Ow, I hate my legs sometimes, they always get cramped up. Charlie horses and Charlie horses and calf cramps. Stay away from me. Anyways, my sister told me and my brother to get ready to go. We got ready and we left and went to the house. We opened the front door, and there I saw my dad's dead body laying in his hospital bed that they put in the house for him when he was sick. And I sat there, looked at my dead father, and I immediately thought, where's my mom at? I went to the the dining room, and a few minutes later she came out and she was bawling her eyes out, and she like hugged me and my brother, and I just sat there trying to process the information still. We were trying to process things, and I had a bunch of my close, like kind of close family members. There was like a bunch of aunts and uncles that I've talked to before occasionally. They were there and they're like talking and stuff, they're like chatting and catching up on stuff and whatever, and talking about my dad and like looking at him, and I saw my sister go up to him and kiss him on the forehead, and so I was like, I should go do the same. So I went up to him when she left. I kissed him on the forehead, and I whispered I love you to him, and then I left. And I was like, oh, how many people saw me? And after that, I sat in the dining room, and I started crying. And, I don't remember if I started crying before I went up to my dad and, kissed him on the forehead. Like, I don't know if I did it before or after, but, it might have... It might have been after. I think it might have been after. I can't remember, but I think it might have been after. But, we just, like, cried, whatever, and then we had the wake, and I really wanted to say something in it, so my sister helped me plan on type something to say, and then when the wake came, she handed me her phone, and I stood up. Ugh. I hate wakes sometimes. Do not like them. I stood up, I pull out, she gave me her phone, and the stuff that I typed out was there ready for me to read, and I read off of it, and I started crying, and I was like, oh my god, this did not go as planned. I was not expecting to cry at all. And after I finished, I gave her back the phone. I was like, I never want to do this again. This is so hard. Oh my god. I'll never forget that wake. It was kind of embarrassing in a way. I feel like I could have done a little better at it, but I mean, what the hell? I was 13 years old. I gotta cut me some slack, dude. Like, I gotta give myself the benefit of the doubt. But, I had no idea that after my mom... Why was I about to say after my mom? My mother's not dead, self. My damn thing wouldn't pause. You sat there watching the screen shake like this, because I was trying to pause the damn thing. Pause. Stuff likes to piss me off sometimes. I'm worried that's gonna fall. Okay, that should stop. But, I never thought that after my dad passed that I would live the next 2 years in absolute hell. Pretty much, we all started sleeping in the living room, and I mean, I guess when you think about this, not like a seriously terrible thing, you know? There could be worse things, but oops. Here's the thing. My mom is kind of lazy. She doesn't like to cook dinner. She doesn't like to do a bunch of chores. She's not very responsible with things sometimes, and she can be kind of an egocentric person at times. I mean, like, she loves me and my brother. Like, she said that many times, and, like, I know she does, but sometimes I just think about my adulthood, and, like, it makes me think, I can't wait to go no contact with her, and you're about to figure out why. So, you know how my mom is now. She's a very irresponsible person. Dinner-wise, we did not have home-cooked meals very often. She would make me go to the store with her. She would hand me $20 and be like, go in the store and buy some food for you and your brother to eat. I'd go into the store, I'd get a thing of rotisserie chicken, and then I would get her a container of crab salad. She would always want that. She always asked for that. If we went to the grocery store, that's what it was. Or I would get sandwiches, and me and my brother would eat that, and then she would always stick with the crab salad. If we went to the bar that my grandpa used to own and get pizza there. Oh yeah, I said that wrong. Okay, so if we went to the bar that my grandpa used to own, it was always pizza. I remember maybe once I got a sandwich from there for dinner, but we always got pizza. Sometimes we would go to the convenience store that I've been to before. I've made YouTube videos before going walking to that store because I wanted to go for a walk, and I was like, my stupid ass should record a YouTube video of me doing it so I can just not be bored and whatever. Like, I don't fucking know. But and then sometimes we would go to a restaurant here in town, and she'd make me go in there and get the food she ordered. Like, let me just put this straight. I was always the errand girl to go with her to get dinner, and she would make me get food to feed all three of us. And like at first it was like perfectly fine. Like it was I felt like it was an okay life for us to live. Like I was 13, like I didn't understand that it was really bad and she shouldn't have been doing that. But as time progressed, I began to realize that we were starting to go broke, and I began to see that she was keeping track of how much money she spent and tried not to spend an excessive amount, and then she'd be like, here, don't get anything else, and if you get stuff for yourself and it exceeds this money amount, you have to put something back. And I'll be like, you're worried about me spending over that much? Like, that's concerning. Oh, I also forgot to mention, my irresponsible mother also does not want to get a job. She's not a job person. She doesn't like working. She doesn't want to be an employed person. Yeah, like, basically with dinner, I was always the person to go and, get the food. She would always send me in there with money to go get it, and then I'd have to come back out with it and whatever, and then drive home with her. Like, that's always how it was. And when we would have to pay bills, she would make me come with her, and she would make me take the envelope with the money and then stick it in the slot for whatever company we were paying our bill for. Like, I was always an errand girl, and when we would have to go to the post office to pick up a package for my grandma, she would always make me go in. She almost never went in. Like, maybe she came in a few times, but I was always I'll say this again and again and again, and my mom can deny it as much as she wants to, but I was the little errand girl of the family. While my autistic brother, who doesn't do shit in his life, like, can't do anything for the life of him, except just be annoying and play video games, like I get, autistic people are wired differently. I've been around an autistic person my entire life. Don't think I know what an autistic person can be like. But, he can't do shit for the life of him, and he always got to stay at home and just, like, play video games and whatever, while I had to slave around and get food that my mom ordered, like, very unnutritious food that she would always order because she didn't feel like cooking and stepping up and being a parent. And my brother just got to be lazy, and, he was on medication, and from what I can remember, that's, like, the gist of it. Like, oh, we can't forget how when I would spend time doing shit for my mom and brother and myself because my mom manipulated me and gaslighted me into believing that if I didn't, I was a selfish and horrible person because she needed help, and if I didn't step up and be the responsible child and help her out, then I was automatically a horrible person, and I was just terrible. Like, I was just automatically an awful person if I didn't help out when it wasn't my responsibility. As the youngest child in the house, it was not my responsibility to be the second parent and to feed my brother and go to the store and get him snacks and shit. Oh, and you're definitely wondering why. I shouldn't say you might, because you're definitely wondering why she would make me do that stuff and not her do it. She used to do the same thing to my dad when he was around. Every day after he got off of work, like for his lunch break or for the day, she'd be like, "Can you go to the store and get me energy drinks, or can you get me a Gatorade?" And then he would do that without hesitation. And after my dad died, she actually targeted my sister once, but she's a full grown-ass adult. She don't have to do shit for her. She's like, "Can you go to the store and give me an energy drink?" And my sister was like, "Ma'am, I have children," or no, at the time my second niece wasn't born. She was like, "I have a child to raise. I have a family to be a part of. I have a life of my own. You can't expect me to do that shit for you all the time. Like, I'm sorry, sweetheart, but you're in your 30s. You better figure this stuff out on your own." And so she was like, "Okay, fine. She doesn't want to do that. I'll just use my own daughter." So after that, she started using me. Like I said, she manipulated me, gaslighted me. If I wasn't helping her out and listening to her, I was a terrible person, and she would be pissed at me for the rest of the day or night. And yeah. Pretty much, I was just doing shit for the family, and I received little to no appreciation for it. There would be some days that I would go to the store and get food for my brother, and I'd bring it home, and then he would look at it and be like, "I don't like that. Like, I got him those skinny Cheetos once that I don't like. I just don't like the crunchiness. I just don't like them. I got them from you. I was like, I've had bad experiences with this in the past. I don't want it." And then he wouldn't eat it, and then I'd be like, "Great, I just spent fucking money on chips for you, and you won't even eat them." Like, that really makes me feel wonderful, you know? Like, and I would also have to go to the pharmacy when my mom got her medication. I would have to go into the drugstore and go to the pharmacy and get her medication for her, and sometimes I'd have to get my grandma's medication. Like, I would always be doing that shit. It was, if there was any errand that had to be run that I was capable of doing, it was my job. I had to do it. Feed the family, help pay the bills, get medication, go and, I guess, go to friend appointments maybe? I don't know. Like, if I was capable of doing it, it was automatically my responsibility, and I had to do it or else I was a terrible person. Let's not to mention, how my mom would put me around the wrong people in those days. She became friends with people who like to do drugs and smoke and shit like that, and they have, like, really, their houses aren't in terrible condition, but they're not in very good condition, and she put me around those people, and they were really nice to me and friendly, and it lured me in completely. I began to think, they're awesome people to be around. I should be great friends with them. Like, they're freaking awesome. They understand my situation. But I didn't understand at the time. My sister, God bless her, she told me this. I didn't understand at the time that drug addicts do that shit to you. They will be friendly to you to drag you in, and then when your life is treating you like shit, they'll be like, "Wanna smoke? Wanna do some pot? Wanna do some marijuana?" And then, they'll be like, "They've been so freaking friendly to me. I should just do it. And then you've officially become a victim. And then you'll become a drug addict too. Holy shit. If YouTube demonetizes this video for me saying the name of drugs, not like bleeping it out because I can't edit my videos, then I am gonna be pissed. I'm just gonna be like, you know what, I'll just make another account on TikTok and then just like post my trauma and abuse on there because like YouTube sucks sometimes. But yeah, I had to keep doing that shit. I had to keep being the errand girl. I had to stay strong even though I was still healing from my dad's passing. I had to be a strong person. I had to be the strong member of the family and do shit even if I wasn't getting appreciation for it. And I mean, like, sometimes people just have to like do shit for other people and receive little to no appreciation, but in my case, I didn't have to do all that shit. My mom made me do it. She made me do all that stuff, and I didn't even have to do it. It wasn't my responsibility. It wasn't my job. I was being forced to do it, and I didn't want to do it, but I stepped up and did it because I was manipulated. And she basically convinced me that I had to be the strongest member of the family and do all this crap and receive little to no appreciation, or else I was not a very good person. And I mean, like, my mom went through crap too. Like, my brother was on medication, like I said, and sometimes he would take too much of his medication, and he would have episodes, and he would, like, get mad and whatever, and, like, you had to, like, leave him alone, because, like, he's autistic, and, like, when autistic people get mad, you have to, like, let them vent their steam and just, like, let them cool off, and just, you have to, like, let them be by themselves for a bit. Like, that's an autistic meltdown in a nutshell. When an autistic person gets mad, you have to leave them alone, or else it's chaos. My brother is very autistic. He's very autistic, and if he had a meltdown, then it was not good. And I will admit, there were some days when he would have an absolute fucking meltdown, like full blown, and then I would feel unsafe. That's how vicious he got. Sometimes he would get so bad that I felt unsafe in the house, and it affected the doggies too. The poor puppies. My sweet bandit, he's the big one, the black and blonde one. He was very affected by it. My brother's outburst turned him into a sensitive dog, and whenever my brother would have a meltdown, Bandit would come up to me and sit on my lap and be scared, and I would have to comfort him and, like, let him know that he had me and that it was gonna be alright. Like, I wouldn't let him get hurt or anything like that. Like, Bandit was basically my own baby to take care of. Like, a baby that I was willing to take care of. I mean, my mom manipulated me into be willing to take care of her, my brother, and myself, but, like, she didn't manipulate me into, be willing to take care of Bandit. Like, I did that on my own. Oh. She would also make me feed the dogs and the cats. She would make me go into the store, and she would give me $20 and be like, here, go get some dog food and cat food, and I'd have to do that. I had to feed everyone. And I mean everyone. Every animal, every human, everything. I had to feed every living, thing in this house, except the plants, really. Pretty much everything. Everyone, everything. Biscuit was also kind of affected by my brother's outburst. Rest in peace to his soul. Sometimes he would get so scared by my brother's outbursts that, he would hide behind my mom and start shaking, and my mom would have to comfort him. And, like, I feel bad for my mom for having to, like, sit there and take in my brother's shit and have to talk to him, and, like, just, like, my brother just, like, not have it at all. Like, he would just keep getting pissed and whatever, and, like, I would just have to sit there and listen to it and think, why is this my life? Like, that was just the shit that I had to encounter. And, you know, there was a time that for a while, for a couple months at a time, every night was the same. my brother, like, kept, like, not taking his medicine right and then getting mad and then wondering why it wasn't working the way he wanted it to work, and then he would have a meltdown, and then we'd have to go through that, and then he would fall asleep, and then he'd fuck his hours up. And let's also mention the living conditions. Our house went from being this happy, fun family home with a slightly messy floor and furniture and whatever, and like tables that got kind of messy and whatever, and like a messy counter, a sink that got a little bit messy occasionally. Like, some houses are like that, you know, like sometimes shit'll get a little bit messy. I don't know if you heard that, but not to be alarmed. Some houses are just like that. Like, they'll get messy occasionally, and like, we'll just be like that. But sometimes it's terrifying having a room downstairs. It went from that to living in a sea of garbage. And I kid you not. My brother, we could not win with him. He would make the house a mess, and then I'd be like, I'm not motivated to clean this shit up. And then some days I'd be like, you know what? Fine. Maybe I'll clean up just a little bit. I'll clean up a little bit of the living room, and then I'll feel motivated. I'll be like, you know what? This is actually kind of fun. I want to clean this up more. And then I would start cleaning it up more. And then my brother would get pissed at me, and he'd be like, I'm getting too much anxiety from you doing that. My mom would be like, okay, you have to stop it. I'm like, I'm not stopping. I'm going to clean this house. And after a while, my brother would get really mad, and my mom would be like, stop. And I'd be like, fine, I'll stop. But, like, the frustrating part about all that is how my brother would just make the house an absolute mess, and then he wouldn't let me clean it up. Like, I'd clean the living room. I cleaned the living room maybe twice. I cleaned the kitchen maybe twice. I could not bring myself to clean the bathroom because disgusting. I'm an absolute germaphobe when it comes to certain toilet things. And we'll get to the toilet later. Like, that was absolutely horrifying. But, yeah, I cleaned the living room twice from what I remember, and I cleaned the kitchen twice. I did dishes. I put them away. I cleaned off the stove. I decluttered the floor. I made us able to move around in it. And I also cleaned up the dining room a little bit too, as well. That's basically it. I would clean the kitchen, dining room, and living room basically, but like, I did a lot of hard work and shit like that. Like, I put so much hard work into cleaning all that stuff. Like, you have no idea how much shit there was to clean up. The conditions were absolutely horrifying, not worth living in, and they were really disgusting. I wish I could show pictures on here, but like, I don't know if I can do that. Like, number one, because editing issues, I can't edit these videos very well. Number two, I don't know how YouTube will react to it. YouTube's a sensitive Nelly sometimes. Or no, not Nelly, sensitive Sally. YouTube's a sensitive Sally sometimes. But, yeah, I had to deal with